welcome back in another edition of the WATD Fantasy Draft. If you're keeping up with the preseason coverage, we've got best logos and mascots already in the books. You can head, you're watching this on YouTube, so check out our channel. If you haven't seen that one, it's living there. Go back and watch that. Quinn Kelly, Johnny Rourke, Brendan Connolly, the Sports Exchange crew gearing up here. We are officially into the start of training camp. I've started at this point making my rounds to camps and checking in with everybody. So we are full steam ahead to the fall, and excited to be that way. So we've got another essentially a mock draft here as we get ready with our preseason picks. But before we get into that, let's debrief the three of us on the mascots logo draft. Who felt good about their board?
I felt great about mine. I felt pretty good to start, and I think I ended pretty strong.
You both said, so we asked this past Sunday on the Sports Exchange who you thought was going to win the poll. This is recorded ahead of the results of the poll, so I don't know. We'll be interested to see. But you both said you thought Johnny won. Looking back on it, I said Brendan. Johnny, I liked your board. I thought you put together a good board. I got away from some things with mine. I didn't dislike
you lost your composure a bit in the late rounds. I mean, all good picks, but it was you lost control.
And I don't think you know what really the one that cinched it for me was I was picturing Middleborough's logo as essentially the same as Mashpee's, where it was just the standard M but with the orange. And when I was putting together the graphic, I forgot the feathers hanging off. I think that was like the steal of the draft.
Yeah.
And so I think that if I had thought better about that and that was on my board, I could have maneuvered a little bit better and shuffled my board around, and I think it's a lot stronger. But yeah, I think I left some out there. I didn't love my order, but I stand by my first round pick. I love that whole logo. But in any case, so we had Brendan first overall, Johnny second, myself third. We're just going to rotate the order in each one of these three. So we've got this one, and our last preseason draft is going to be the best places to watch a game, so the best fields on the South Shore. So, Johnny, the two orders that we have to finish out are going to be Johnny, Quinn, Brendan, and Quinn, Brendan, Johnny. Do you want first in this one and last in fields, or first in fields and last in this one?
That's tough. I got to figure out if I have a one. I kind of have a one in both of them. So I might. This is tough. I kind of liked it better when I just got it assigned. I'll take first in the uniform.
Okay. All right. Well, then the floor is yours. We were drafting full uniform kits. So 1-1 overall. Who has got the best uniform on the entire South Shore? Johnny, let's hear it.
I kind of had another one in mind, but now that I'm on the clock, I got to go with Situate, I think. I just really like the blue. I love the white helmet. I love the logo. I just think it might be ambitious at 1-1, but I just love the whole look. I love the whole get up. So I'm going to go with Situate.
Back-to-back number one overall selections for the Sailors. And I legitimately think they could maybe make a case on the next draft to take a clean sweep of the 1-1s. They have been exceeding as an athletic program of late. And so this is just another feather in the cap. I think those are really solid uniforms. Brendan, you donned those uniforms once upon a time. I think they're even sleeker probably than the ones that you wore, but I'll let you take the wheel.
I mean, back in the day, it was kind of more of a navy look. We had the black lettering with the white trim. That was kind of cool. It was unique, more militaristic than it is now, and I think they went back to a old school look. It looks great, I think, either way.
Yeah, I think they're super, super clean. I think, if I'm not mistaken, sometimes it's tough to tell in high school because I feel like they just run out of decals. But I think they just do like Steeler style, where it's anchor on one side, nothing on the other.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think that's a
good look.
On the helmet. That's what I mean. Yeah, on the helmet.
For sure.
Yeah, no, I think they're super clean, and I like them. And I'm gonna slide right into my pick. and I like it for the same reasons. And I'm gonna explain it. My 1-1 is Hanover, or my one first overall, second overall, my first round pick is the Hanover Hawks, and I think that maturing as a sports fan is realizing that two-tone color schemes are so far superior to 3 and 4 color schemes. I think when they just go like no outline on the numbers, it's just simple gold on navy or navy on white. I think their uniforms are so freaking clean. Their Under Armours, sure nice, simple gold helmet, very Notre Dame kind of style. I think they're just, and I don't know, and especially if they go navy on navy, I think they have the cleanest look on the South Shore. That's just a good jersey wearing under the whites. And I think Citrus, same kind of thing, white and blue. There's no extra, no stuff in there. I like the 2-color scheme, but yeah. So Hanover, my first pick. All right, Brendan, close out the first round.
Let's just stick with the Patriot League. I just moved to this town. I'm going to stick with the Hingham Harbormen. I like their red colors. I like their kind of style. It's kind of similar to what Scituate had back when I was there, like that type of thing. Just flip the colors to red, white, and black. That's kind of the same deal. I kind of like their style, and sometimes they go with the old school logo too. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Another white helmet too. I imagine that white helmets are going to be very, very popular on this draft. I think it elevates the look. I think they got a solid scheme. I like him. All right, Johnny, take us into round 2.
I honestly love my board right now, and it's kind of tough to choose from. I have one that I almost think I have to take because it's just a classic. But there's one that I think you have your eye on, Quinn, and I kind of want to slide in and take it.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I think it would break your heart if I took it.
I'm trembling.
I think it would break your heart, but I just think I got to go the classic. I'm gonna go Duxbury. I just think the green and the silver and the gray and the black and that combination of colors is just fantastic. I think their helmet is super clean. I think it matches obviously with both and when they go the green with the silver helmet, I just think it's a daunting look, and it's one that's great.
It's nice that they can put, there's a lot of elements of them that are kind of like, like what Oregon was bursting on the scene with what they do. Their speed, their up tempo, they're flashy, and they hit you with more uniform combos than the average high school. I will never ever forget, Johnny, first game of the season last year, you and I, it's 100, and Brendan in the booth as well. It's like 100 degrees, and these effers roll out in their black uniforms. It was the most insane decision. I don't know who decided that was the way to go. They look sweet though. The fact that they can mix in a black alternate is nice. And yeah, I love that they can go. I think it's D on one side of the helmet and the numbers on the other, which is a nice touch. The only thing I will say, not really a knock, but show me the D that's on the side of their helmet in any other avenue of their athletics. I don't think that D is used anywhere else, but it's not like it's not like it's intentionally unique for football. It's very, very generic, and
it's just kind of a D.
Yeah,
it's like, this is what we can get printed, but
it's a green version of Drake's.
Yeah. Very small knock on a great uniform kit. I think that's a good pick, Johnny. All right, that brings me to the board, and I'm going to stick with my two-tones, and I'm going to go with a unique color. I just talked about regretting not seeing this pick on the board last week. I'm going to go with the Middleborough Sachems, the Halloween specials, just black and orange. I love the matte orange on the helmets. I think that's a really solid look. I think that's a great logo on the helmet. I think I enjoy their look. I also, the other killer of not picking Middleborough is, as I have professed to and did so on the last draft, I'm an orange guy. Orange is my favorite color, and a total swing and a miss on my part. I'm not going to let it happen again. Yeah, my favorite color. Yeah,
I'm a little freakish.
I know, it's a little out there, but it's my go-to. All right, Middleborough, off the board. All right, Brandon.
I'm going to go with a kit that's pretty similar to Duxbury's, but is also a classic, very classic logo. I'm going to go with Abington. I like the green and the silver. The numbers are always slick, and the helmets are great. It feels like they improve each and every year somewhat. Even if it's simplified, I love the slick scheme.
Another Under Armour kit, if I'm not mistaken. I think when they made their upgrade, they went to Under Armour. Another matte helmet, and another great logo on it. I think they're super, super clean. It's nice. It's tough when you mix in on the sideline the kids in the JV uniforms, which are a little different, and you've got like a smattering of kids in these like jerseys that are from the '90s amongst these really nice new jerseys. But great kit for Abington. I think it's a good pick, Brendan. All right, Johnny, round 3.
My top 3 is fully intact, which is huge here. I am going to go with Rockland. I just think the navy blue and the white helmet is a crisp look. I love the logo on the helmet, the dogs with the underlined. I just think, I think it's just a clean look. I mean, we've talked about kind of keeping it two-tone, just blue and white, something special. Good logo on the white helmet. I just love it.
Yeah, I think it's a solid look. I mean, we've had we deal with a lot of teams, just like we have a lot of kids in studio by nature. One of my favorite groups was the group that surrounded their Super Bowl run, and really even the following year that kind of didn't quite go their way. And I'll just like when you think about, I think when you think of any of these uniforms, or at least the ones that like you kind of played in high school, like you can kind of think of like who you picture in that uniform, and I think that like the group that I remember there at Rockland that wore those Rockland uniforms, it just sticks in my mind. I think they looked great in them. They played great in them. And I think, it's a great jersey. And the script dogs, rather than just throwing the bulldog on the helmet, I think adds a lot, as you said, Johnny, and kind of fits the rest of their game day aesthetic, if you will. So, that's a good set of jerseys. All right. I have one pick that I think I can get late. And I think it's going to be kind of a late round steal for me, so I'm going to hang on to it for now. I'm going to go with Cohasset. I think it's kind of a different color scheme in that they don't really have the contrast of dark light. They kind of go double dark, so they have this gray that's a really deep gray, and then obviously they have their navy blue. And I think that makes for some interesting combos, makes for some very difficult combos to spot from the press box, but certainly not the worst on the South Shore. We'll talk about that in honorable mentions. I like it. I like what they do. They're Adidas, I believe. I'm not a huge Adidas guy, but, I'm certainly not the resident Adidas guy, now a corporate shill. But I like Cohasset's look. I think that the Chicago C is good, and I think that the combos that they can roll out with kind of the double darks are nice, and then it contrasts nicely with their white roads. So I think it's a good clean kit.
Good pick.
All right, Brendan.
This next pick for me is going to be a polarized one potentially. It depends on where you fall on the Coastal Carolina colors. I think I'm going to go with Plymouth South. I enjoy that aqua color. I like the choice to go with the black trim, and I like their the other stuff that they sometimes throw at you. And usually it's always clean, in my opinion. It might be different. They need to find a new running back this year, but those uniforms will remain.
Darren Frizzetti did just say to me the other day, he said, I'm loving that we're coming in under the radar this year. It's nice to be that way. It's been a few years since they've been under the radar, so he's excited about it. I think the teal is probably the most unique color on the South Shore, right along with one other that's in my mind. But I like their uniforms. They recently changed too. Like the unis that they wore at the Super Bowl in Scott Fry's last year are not the same that they wear now. So that's a pretty recent change. I think they look good. I think they look solid. I like them. All right, Johnny, round 4.
I feel like this is great value in the 4th. I am going to go with the Quincy Presidents. I think they're Their combo is fantastic. I think if they go blue or white, it looks good. The blue helmet with the American flag Q is fantastic. So I'm really happy with that in the fourth round. But I mean, I think it just fits the name, and I appreciate when the uniform matches a
Yeah,
quality name like that. So when you put it all together, I think it's a really solid uniform.
America.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's great, Johnny. One that kind of slipped my mind in going through it, but one that I remember last season being at the field for and being taken aback and being like, wow, that jersey is clean as hell. Like that, they're super, super nice. Um, yeah, I think that's great. And the American flag Q is
Yeah.
second to none. It's an awesome, awesome feature on the helmet. So great pick there. All right, I'm kind of racking my brain here a little bit. Frankly, I'll give you a lot of credit, Johnny. You've been in my head the whole draft from pick two, being like, I got one that I think it's just going to kill Quinn. And I don't know if it's come off I don't think it's come off the board yet, but I'm
Well, it was
afraid.
Rock for me. It was for what I thought it was
Oh,
Rockland because I know you're a dog's logo guy.
I am. Oh,
So that's
I should probably have that hat on right now. I don't want to show favoritism, but shout out to Michael Moriarty's father for getting me the dog's football hat. That thing is the best. Yeah, no, a miss on my part, but that was not. There's one that I'm going to be really devastated if I don't end up with, but I think I'm going to be okay to get it. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that it hasn't come off the board. All right, I'm going to go to my pick. I'm just giving one more scan here. I want to make sure I'm not losing sight of anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Milton. I'm gonna go with Milton. Clean red and whites. I feel like kind of a similar vibe to what's going on with Situate, just with red and white versus with blue and white. I think they do mix in a little bit of black, but obviously a jersey that's been around it's been at Gillette the last 2 years. It's super clean. I like the Wildcat logo. I think it's a solid kit. So give me Milton for round 4. All right, Brennan.
All right, Quinn, I'm just going to take a combination of the two schools you mentioned in your last pick. I like the Bay State Conference here, and I like Situate's blue and white colors, so I'm going to go with Braintree. Another good kid, I think. They've got the old school logo sometimes. If they do their throwbacks occasionally, I still enjoy that, and the color scheme is great. Works for me.
Yeah, I think they're really solid, and I think they're going to be. I think they're going to. I don't want to say surprise some people. The Bay State Conference is still so tough, but they're going to be good this year. I mean, they got Stones coming back at quarterback, and James Curry is obviously like a top 5 at worst running back in the state. I think they're gonna be kind of, I don't know, surprising some people in the D1 tourney. So, a good pick, Johnny. Your final pick of the draft.
I'm kind of trying to guess at this point what you're trying to slide in the fifth round.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if it got me like
I'll be interested to see if
try.
it's on my list because I have four.
Okay.
I have three that I could really go with, and they're all good. They're good for just three completely different reasons. I guess I'll try to kind of round out the colors. So I mean, I want Situate, Quincy, Duxbury, Rockland. I'm now between two. I'm gonna go with Brockton. I just think that's such a classic look. I mean the helmet is a classic with the boxer, the
Mm-hmm.
colors, I mean obviously they've been down as of late, but that's just a color combination, under the lights that you really never want to see in
Yeah.
terms of the opposing team. It's a daunting kind of a dark color scheme with the dark red, the black, the
Mhm.
hints of white. Great logo. I just think it's a classic.
They're rolling a dude out to punt. His name's Tsunami. Like it's terrifying. Not anymore. I think he graduated, but that was one of the cooler things we've ever seen. Just a big freaking guy, Tsunami punting the ball. Yeah, no, I mean they're imposing, and I think that's one of those jerseys that has so much history in it. That hasn't changed all that much over the years, so it's still got a lot in it. Yeah, love it. All right, my pick is still on the board, and so I think in the one sense, just from a pure uniforms, this is gonna lock it up for me. I feel really good about this. The thing that might hurt me is it's fringe South Shore. They're on our schedule this year. They're a team that was on our schedule last year. They were in our Metro South days, more a central player. But I'm going with the Taunton Tigers,
Mhm.
who, for my money, have the single best helmet in 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 Massachusetts high school football. It is the LSU helmet with THS on it instead. It's white. It's glorious. The rest of their uniforms follow suit. I'm a little uneasy about going double orange. I don't think that people are going to love double orange, but I like Middleborough's and I love Tauntons. I think that after arguably poor performance in the last draft, I'm happy if nothing else with my board maneuvering here. I think Taunton's kit can stand against anybody's on strength of helmet alone.
Good pick. That
All right,
was,
well,
if you'd like to know, that was not one of the three.
I figured not. I was like, if he pulls
That would have
this,
been incredible if I
if
pulled
you did,
that.
I really would have cried. I think because I was each round. I was like, you know what? I don't think anyone was kind of getting that far out. And then Brendan had me for a second. I knew they weren't Bay State Conference, but I was like, oh, he's maybe pushing the boundaries a little bit. So I was worried, but no, I'm happy. I figured it was probably not on your board, but it would have been an all-time heart rip if it was. All right, Brendan, round us out.
I'm also going to double up on the red and black. I'm going to go with North Quincy. I think they have great uniforms as well. Whether they go with all black with a little bit of red or vice versa, can't go wrong. Great uniform all around.
Yeah, I think they're phenomenal. Quincy in general, both Quincy schools show out in a way that you would not expect with the uniforms. And I think the Raiders do well with a color scheme. I don't want to say it's hard to get right. So like when you think Hingham and even Milton to an extent, the black is more the accent color and the focus is the white and red. When you go black as the secondary with red as the primary and not an accent, that's busy. There's a lot of depth of color there, and I think that they do well with the uniforms. I think it's really really solid. So a good final pick, Mr. Irrelevant. All right, let me read them down, and then we can do honorable or dishonorable mentions. Johnny from the first slot, Scituate, Duxbury, Rockland, Quincy, Brockton. I, from the second slot, had Hanover, Middleborough, Cohasset, Milton, Taunton. And Brendan from the third slot had Hingham, Abington, Plymouth South, Braintree, and North Quincy. All right, let's go around the horn. Any honorable mentions? You lead, Johnny.
I had a couple. Are we keeping it to one, or am I just listing some?
No, you can keep a couple if you want.
A couple of mine. BC High. I
Yeah.
think that's a clean look. I think that's a classic. A little bit of polarizing colors. I really enjoy Hull. I think Hull is just a different color scheme. That was the one I really went back and forth with on Brockton. I like Archie's too. Archie's is clean.
Yeah.
A little bit too similar to Hanover, which is why I
Yeah.
didn't pick it, but those are kind of my three.
I think that something maybe down the line, but if it were a pure helmet draft, I think Hull has a case to be made for the best on the South Shore, right? I think after Taunton, but I think they have a great helmet, and I think that if the rest of the uniform kind of leveled up just a hair, they'd be a really top tier kind of uniform. They were also on my board, but didn't come off. Brendan, any honorable mentions?
A couple of fringe ones. We got to include this in the South Shore League now. I like Sandwich with their blue, that sky blue look, and they have a great logo as well. I think Mansfield sometimes can get tricky with their silver and black. Sometimes they go white, but it still works. Just off the top of my head.
Oh, I thought on the Mansfield thing, I was thinking Oliver Ames as well.
Oh, yeah.
But just that would have been far too much orange in this draft.
Oh, and of course your alma mater, Zavarian.
I know Johnny doesn't like this take. I don't like our uniforms
really?
At all. Yeah, I really don't.
I like the navy.
The uniforms themselves, actually, they're way nicer up close, I think, than they are from afar. I know the helmet is iconic. It just doesn't match. Like, it's not even a straight white. So, like, I don't know. I just always struggle with that. But if you win, I don't really care. So, yeah. It's good uniform. They're a bottom down, I think, have a really solid uniform. But I still wish they would, I don't know, change up the color scheme just a little bit. All right. I had, I don't know if this was, I had Spellman and Weymouth, very similar uniforms, but kind of that color scheme is good. BC High was one that I had too. Hull was on my board. Carver, I think, kind of similar thing. I love the cranberry. That was when I said Plymouth South was one of the most unique colors. I think that's the other one. I think that's just very different. And then I just wanted to shout out. I know this is probably like a really rude thing to do, but I'm just going to do it because if I can affect a little bit of change, it will make my life infinitely easier. Plymouth North with the silver numbers on a white jersey. Who in the hell thought that was a good idea? They are illegible from the press box. Like we did the game where they played Marshfield, first round of the playoffs. Marshfield press box is barely set off of the field. It's really not that far. And it's low. It's not like you're high set. You cannot read the freaking numbers with the light shining off them. It's horrible. And I just I imagine there are parents in the stands every game looking at the program like, I don't know who the hell that is. Like, hey, Bob, who made that catch? Well, I don't know. He's not in the program. Do they have a number blank? Like, it's horrible. So just if we can correct that, I'd be really pleased. And they played somebody else. And I don't remember who it is because I kind of thought it was, we didn't do Plymouth South, Plymouth North. I don't remember who they played. There's somebody else on the South Shore that has the same issue with the numbers. You have to have contrast. That's like day one stuff. I can't believe somebody would sell or gift Plymouth North a uniform kit that would have silver on white. That's like horrible. All right, that was my one dishonorable. All right, that'll do it for us. We have one more preseason draft upcoming. We're going to do the best places to take in a ball game on the South Shore. So field/stadium/ game day experience, whatever, all kind of wrapped up into one. That'll be next up next week, so stay tuned for that. Go on over to our Twitter, @SE on WATD. Tomorrow we're going to have a poll up, and you can vote on who you think had the best draft, whose series of 5 jerseys was your favorite. And go ahead and like and subscribe below on our YouTube. We're going to have the regular WATD fantasy drafts here all season long and plenty more content as well. So for Brendan and Johnny, I'm Quinn, and we'll see you next time on the WATD Fantasy Draft.